security. Having an accent said I was from someplace else. Sounding like a white girl fooled me into thinking I could belong in the United States. If I sounded like I was from here, who would question whether I should actually be here? I am a brown, formerly undocumented immigrant from Mexico. Assimilation has been forced upon me since the moment I set foot in San Antonio, Texas in 1994. For a long time, I didn't understand that assimilating to American culture really meant imitating white America. That sounding like a white girl was a racist idea meant to tame me, change me, and make me small. I ran the race, completing each stage, but I never quite fit in. No one told me I was entering into a system that never wanted me to begin with. My parents ate American exceptionalism like it was Holy Communion on Sunday. They were the first people to fall for the lie. They told me everything was possible in America, as long as I worked hard and stayed out of trouble. This idea proved too simplistic, too naive. When I became undocumented at the age of 14, after my tourist visa expired, doors began to close. I thought with my smarts, with my English, with my money, I could blend in and slip through the cracks unnoticed. Once I was in, I'd integrate. I'd latch on. I'd become a part of the United States. I'd belong. I learned the language at the expense of my Spanish, only to find that in English, I didn't exist. I read the American history textbooks in school that erased any trace of the deep Mexican roots in this country. Still, I forged ahead. I received a college education, graduated with honors, and landed a prestigious job, only to find that it wasn't enough. I needed a piece of paper with a 9-digit social security number, something that eluded me. When you're someone like me, you can't get to the top without bending the rules because the rules are meant to keep you at the bottom. So with fake papers, I managed my way to one of the most coveted jobs on Wall Street. At Goldman Sachs, I made enough money to be considered upper middle class. I paid taxes, gave back to my community. But despite my superficial success, plenty of people wanted me to go back to where I came from. I thought, when I get my papers, my parents' formula will work and everything will be possible, everything will be okay, everything will be beautiful. I got my green card in 2009. The process nearly cut me in half. The anxiety of each application, every fingerprint, the fact that my entire life depended on an immigration official's mood. My body expressed all the things I didn't have the words to scream. I had unexplainable headaches, searing back pain, and a stomach too weak to belong to a Mexican. I was the oldest 26-year-old in the world. 2 years later, in 2011, I left my corporate job at Goldman Sachs. To my mom, my decision felt reckless, like throwing away the fishing pole that had kept us fed and jumping into the open water. She viewed the security of my paycheck as more than money. Instead, it was a reward for everything we had endured as a family. Most of all, the pain of being separated from our loved ones in Mexico and eventually from each other. I had made it. I had the career, the money, y papeles. Ya lo tenía todo. Hadn't I reached the finish line of a long race I had been running since the moment I immigrated to the United States? Why walk away after everything I had been through, when I had survived it all and finally had what we immigrated for? A better life, a 401k, and papers. But how many scars had I collected along the way? Many still unhealed, still stinging. My decision was necessary, urgent even. I was a fish needing to get back into the water. I told my mom how walking away from the security of a paycheck was actually the biggest flex of all. I joked, "Mira, ahora me paran para criticar al país." Who would have imagined? We thought we had to be perfect. And now I make a living pushing this country to do better by us. In August of 2014, 20 years after I arrived, I became an American citizen. By then, the process had exhausted me. The legal dance, for sure, but what had truly got at me was the undertaking of assimilation. I was asked to do the impossible, to shed my heritage.